morning, Sac City. Welcome in to another edition of Pigskins and Pancakes presented by the Sac City Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Vinny Milani, joined as always by my best friend in the whole entire world. He is Aaron the Mukesiah in a parking lot, Mukes. And below us, we have your boy, my boy, and everybody's boy. He is A.J. Johnson. It is a beautiful October 16th morning here in the city. We've got a great Pigskins and Pancakes episode about to kick off. We are diving into Aaron's rankings. We are diving into streamers. We're diving into sleepers. And, of course, our DFS plays of the day. Gentlemen, you guys ready to get this thing kicked off?
Yeah.
Always ready.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz Dome Red Deck parking lot, baby.
There it is. Red Deck represent. Red Deck represent. Is
Premium
that
deck
a
right
special
there? Premium deck.
Is that a special parking? Is that what that is, or is that?
Well, it was special for me because it was $0. So yeah, I mean, there's people like regular people. I don't know. There are a lot of empty spots.
What do you mean regular people?
But let's see. There's a lot of empty spots right now, but I don't know if that's going to change. It is the Falcon. But
is there a way, maybe one of these episodes, we'll plan it out, for you to be able to get out of your car, take StreamYard with you, and you interview Falcons fans live, and you can say it's for your job, but you can really be for this?
Why do I need to say it's for my job? Why can't I just say it's for Sac City?
Because no one knows what the hell Sac City is, and then they'll be like, what is this? Get away from me, you freak.
What? That's no.
And I was gonna be like, yeah, I can do it, and then you just ruined it all.
Wait, so you do it?
Yeah, of course I would do it. Are you serious?
Oh, wow, okay. All right.
Hopefully, I'd be in a spot where there's actually some cars, because I'm wondering if there's a game today. There's nobody in this parking lot.
Just start rolling up to the person who does the tickets and stuff and ask them the questions. All right.
If it's anything like yesterday, when I show up to the stupid Florida State game, like at 2:00 thinking the game's at 3:30 and it wasn't until 7:30, then maybe that's what happened today. Maybe I'm supposed to be at a night game or something. I don't know. It's been a long week.
What a game that was. Hopefully today is a little bit better than that game was. But let's get in.
It wasn't bad.
I mean,
yeah, it was.
What are you talking about? It was a 6-point. It was a 6-point loss.
Stop! Don't be that guy.
That game wasn't close.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. It was not.
That game wasn't close.
It was close for the first quarter, and then after that, Clemson dominated. I was there.
Yeah,
trust me.
I was there too. I was right there.
In spirit. I was there in spirit.
Guys.
Which is away from the game.
All right, let's get into some fantasy football talk. We've got rankings to get into. Let's dive into your running backs here, your tier 1 running backs, your RB1s, your top 12 here, headlined by Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, and one Nick Chubb. AJ, I'm going to let you start this one off. Which name jumps out to you in Aaron's running back ones?
All right. Well, in the RB1 section, I am going to be a fan, and it could be the hype train that everybody else is following on, but I actually was ahead of the game on this, and I'm looking at number 11, Mr. Breece Hall. I'm really starting to like it. I think it's time that we recognize he has come up. He is the guy. We've just been waiting for him to take over that backfield, and we talked about this a little bit throughout the week. It's not a full takeover. Michael Carter's still there, still going to get some work, probably still going to vulture some touchdowns, but Breece Hall, 197 yards from scrimmage. That was super fun last week. And this week he's going up against the Green Bay Packers team that hasn't been fantastic against the run by any means. They are ranked 20th against the run of rushing yards per team, but at home they've been giving up 173 rushing yards a game. So if you have Breece Hall, be very excited to put him in your lineup and roll with the punches. I think he has a pretty good game today.
I've developed an appreciation for Breece Hall. So I liked Breece Hall coming out of college, but I did think it would take some time before he just became a number 1 back. That was really when we talk about fantasy perspective, obviously. I just thought there was a little bit too much to overcome with the New York Jets backfield, Michael Carter being in there, plus the fact that you have a rookie and you're not going to see the full complement of touches initially. But they've kind of gone to him a lot lately. I still worry that he's predicated a lot in the passing game, but they have been checking down. At least Zach Wilson has been checking down over the past couple of weeks. So you got to like what Breece Hall's doing. And when we talk about thin running back markets. We still got guys out. DeAndre Swift out. Obviously, Rashad Penny's down. You are going to run into a situation where you're searching and scrounging for running back. So if you have Breece Hall or you spent that value on him, you can expect one of those bigger days. And I think it's okay to go ahead and put him now gearing towards that top 10. I still worry it's the Jets offense. You never know. They might have one of those days where it's just not great. And then you're kind of, again, hoping that he's getting the volume as far as pass catches to create that value. But again, last week he only had 2 catches. Of course, he broke one for a big gain, and it went for 100 yards total in the receiving game. So maybe a little bit of inflated value there. But he had 18 carries last week, 17 the week before, which was a huge jump from weeks 1, 2, and 3. So you got to like what Breece Hall is doing. I definitely think he can get into the top 10 this week.
Yeah, Breece Hall is a name that, I mean, it's at the beginning of the season, I'll admit that I was wrong on things. I thought Michael Carter was going to be a little bit more involved in this offense, and he's still taking touchdowns away from Breece Hall. But really, I think we've seen the shift now of this offense going into Breece Hall being the lead back here. Aaron, one other running back I want to touch on before we move on to the RB2s is Devin Singletary. You have him at 12 right now in a matchup where it's going to be a high-scoring affair we expect between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. And normally when we think of the Bills, when we think of the Chiefs, we're thinking about the pass catchers, the wide receivers, the tight ends. And the running backs don't get a lot of love. And there's 2 running backs in this game, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Devin Singletary here, that we talk about all the time, that these teams are going to need a running game to be able to win football games. Like, that's what, at the end of the day, like, you have to establish some type of rushing attack. What makes Devin Singletary a top 12 back today?
Well, it's really, again, about volume and opportunity in the pass game. I think without the players of like a Jamison Crowder, and I know Isaiah McKenzie is there, and I know they have Khalil, whatever you want to call it, AJ's boy Shakir. But I think there's a lot of check down opportunities, and I think that's really what it boils down to. In the running game, he doesn't obviously see a lot of work. And, he's only had 11 carries, his max carries this season, but he's had 11 targets in a game. I think there's a lot of check down opportunities here, and I think this is going to be a high scoring game. So I think the volume is what I'm excited about. I think Devin Singletary sees more volume today. I think they want to establish the run. We saw Kansas City struggle with it last week against Josh Jacobs, both in the run game and the pass game. And I have a sneaky suspicion that they're going to be focusing on Stephon Diggs. There's going to be a lot of check down opportunities for Josh Allen, and then they're going to try to hit him over the top for big plays. So it might be kind of an outlier. I'm sure he's not this high on most people's board. But again, this is a running back in a game that I think is going to be extremely high scoring. I do think he can get into the end zone, and I think he's going to get a lot of work out of the backfield. We've already seen he had a game with 11 targets and 9 catches. Yeah. I think that he can have a similar style game to that game.
Yeah, because and you brought up the fact that you might have him a little higher than most. One running back you do have him higher on, and I'll kind of jump to the RB2s here. You have Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 15. Clyde Edwards-Helaire right now this season has been the RB22, and Devin Singletary has been the RB33 this season. So one last question regarding Singletary and now and into Clyde. What made you choose him? What gives him more value, do you think, in this game than Clyde Edwards-Helaire does?
Well, I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is more touchdown dependent. We've seen that he's been successful. He's been and I don't know where you get the RB22, but he's actually RB8 on the season. I don't know where you got RB22 at.
Sorry, but I'm sorry. I'm going by season average, like average points per game this season. In our sleeper league, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the RB22 on season average. I'm looking at it right now. In our sleeper league, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, RB22, Devin Singletary. I didn't just make this up. Swear to God. Oh, this is season average from is this from last year?
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
This is 2022, though. Wait a second. This makes no damn sense.
I don't think that's right. I'm not sure what you're looking at, but he is the RB8 on the year. But a lot of that has been touchdown volume. He's got 5 touchdowns already on the year through the first 5 weeks. That has helped him. He's also getting work out of the passing game, which has helped. But he hasn't really ran the ball that effectively outside of a game against Tampa where he went 19 for 92 and a touchdown. So they mix in guys there. Who knows? Last week I thought Isaiah Pacheco was going to have a good day against the Raiders. It turned out it was Jerick McKinnon. Who knows what Andy Reid's going to do in the backfield? And I think Clyde is going to be more reliant today on the touchdown than Devin Singletary is. I think he'll have a little bit more opportunity as far as being on the field and making plays with his legs and out of the backfield.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about the Kansas City Chiefs being a wide receiver by committee. It's been an offense by committee. They're just letting anybody touch the ball and do anything they can, and then Travis Kelce gets all the touchdowns. But yeah, that's a tough one. And I agree, though. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been, I mean, he's had more than 9 touches in one game all season long. So, it's not sustainable that he continues the numbers. He's like Kansas City's Chase Edmonds, except they actually like him there. So
I don't know why I was looking at the wrong, how Sleeper is not updating for me. I didn't catch that. That's been a thing. Yeah, you are right, though. The Clyde Edwards.
I was trying to see where you were even looking at.
I was like,
I don't even know. I don't know why that was a thing. And I'm trying to. So okay, there we go. All right, we're good. Okay, all right. So wide receiver, running backs. Your running back twos. AJ, when you look at his list of running back twos, 13 through 24, he's got Daryl Henderson, Benjamin very high on. We talked about Clyde. Najee Harris just falling in the world. But what name, AJ, is standing out to you as a player of interest?
Yeah, I look at number 18, Jeff Wilson Jr. I think he has a chance to be above a lot of these guys on the same side of that list. You talk about Najee Harris falling. I wouldn't be surprised if he fell even more after today. But Jeff Wilson Jr. is a guy who's been playing pretty well for the San Francisco 49ers. They always liked him. He was just injured, so Elijah Mitchell got his chance last year. Now Elijah Mitchell's injured, so Jeff Wilson's getting his chance. And you look at the last 2 weeks, he had 17 touches and 120 yards, 18 touches the week before that, 18 touches in week 2. And he's going up against an Atlanta Falcons team that we talk about. Their defense is susceptible. They can be had. They're giving up 164 yards per game at home, not to mention 4.6 yards per carry just every single game. And Jeff Wilson's a guy who's taking 5.1 yards per rush. So I think Jeff Wilson Jr. has a chance to have himself a pretty good day. I think they get ahead early in this game, and he gets a lot of run to beat the clock. And then, of course, the Falcons will do what they do and just come back and be annoying, and then they get back to throwing the ball. But hopefully by then, Jeff Wilson will have had his candy or had his cake and eating it too, which is something you do when you have cake. I don't understand. You eat your cake when you have it, people.
I don't know about all that cake stuff. I like Jeff Wilson.
Okay.
I don't know about all that cake stuff, but I do like Jeff Wilson. I think my concern with Jeff Wilson would be, does he see enough volume today if he doesn't get in the end zone to crack that top 10? Tyrion Davis-Price is back. I think that he's going to start eventually taking touches away from Jeff Wilson. May not be this week because it's his only first week back, but eventually he's going to take touches away because Jeff Wilson is what he is. He's a 26-year-old running back who's kind of been a backup his whole career. I don't think all of a sudden now they view him as some starter. I think he's a piece of that offense. He's going to be a piece of that offense, but I do think that they are a team that likes to split carries. We saw Tevin Coleman come in last week and get some touches. I think Tyrion Davis-Price takes some of those touches away from him. So if Jeff Wilson, which he'll have touchdown opportunities, if they're not taken away by some of those other guys or Deebo Samuel, if he gets into the end zone, I agree. If he does not get into the end zone, I don't think he can get into the top 12.
I don't know. I don't appreciate your slander here to James Robinson, not having him in the top 24 and you having Travis Etienne. But I understand. I'm not going to, there's no need to get into that.
We had this conversation yesterday.
Let's go into some names though here. And I don't want to harp too long on the running backs, but this is really the juiciest spot here and juiciest part of your rankings out of everything. I think, this top 24, these RB2s here, there's some names that are very just eye-popping. I mean, you throw Benjamin, Ken Walker, Raheem Mostert, all in the top 24 here. These are guys that we've not seen at all in the top 24 in your rankings, at least I should say. These guys have been able to do well at points this season. But out of those three names, which one are you most confident in being in the spot they're in?
Well, it really comes down to whether James Conner played or not. For Benjamin, I just went with James Conner not playing. I think even if he does, he's going to be limited. But it looks like it's all going to be all official, and it's going to be Benjamin. So if Benjamin's the guy, I think the easiest answer there is Benjamin with the matchup. I think the matchup is the plus matchup going against the Seattle defense. It's not good at all. They've continuously struggled on the defensive side of the football. Arizona is a high volume offense, even though they haven't looked like it at times this season. And he's going Kyler Murray's not afraid to check down. Kyler Murray's not afraid to just hand it off. So I think he just sees a ton of volume because they really don't have anybody else, especially with Darrell Williams out already. So I think Eno was the easiest to rank in that top tier based on opportunity. But I do like Ken Walker as well. I just think it's a tougher matchup against Arizona's defense. And then when you talk about Raheem Mostert, I think the reason these guys haven't been in the top 24 is because we were still trying to wonder, are they the guy? Are they the guy? I think it's clear now that Raheem Mostert's the guy in Miami. I think it's clear now that Ken Walker is the guy in Seattle. And I think it's very clear that if James Conner's not playing with no Darrell Williams, that Eno Benjamin is the high volume guy. So it really comes about the opportunity. Can these guys have bad days? And would we be surprised? No, because I don't think we think any of these guys, maybe outside of a Ken Walker, are an elite talent or guys that we would say if they were given a starting job anywhere, they would be top 12, 15 guys. But outside of maybe, again, Ken Walker. But I think with the opportunities that they're given now, I think they can produce at that level. But again, you still have to temper your expectations because the talent's not going to be what you would get if it's like a Alexander Madison taking over for a Dalvin Cook, or perhaps a Tony Pollard taking over for a Zeke. You're not going to get that same talent level. Some of these guys aren't as talented, Ken Walker aside. So I'm surprised you didn't bring up the Daryl Henderson conversation, which I think is a big one because he's right up there as well. No Cam Akers today, likely no Cam Akers anymore on the Rams. And I think if you were fortunate enough to draft Daryl Henderson and you stuck with him, congrats to you, because I think he'll be the first guy. But I hate to tell you, Malcolm Brown is back in that backfield. And Malcolm Brown will take snaps and opportunities away from Daryl Henderson. Mark my words.
A little bowling ball, right at the goal line, rolling forward.
He did it when he was there. They like him.
Yep.
He's good on third downs. He's good out of the backfield. They will use him. He will be a nuisance to Daryl Henderson. He will cap his upside. But I think today, I think that's a good opportunity.
Well, really, the backfield in Los Angeles is not only without Cam Akers, but I mean, the biggest one is them losing Jake Funk. That has to be one of the biggest losses for them, and now opens up so much for everybody else. Now Daryl Henderson's going to get involved, and Malcolm Brown. Jake Funk is a huge loss to that team.
Thank you for wasting 12 seconds of our life.
That's the running backs there. Let's get into your wide receivers, your top tier wide receivers. Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, and Hollywood Brown at 6. AJ, you have this list here. You see it with your eyes visually. What player stands out to you?
It's beautiful when it's visual. I've never laid my eyes on something so beautiful. The one that stands out to me, number 6. I think this is a beautiful spot for one Marquis Brown. It's funny. I feel like people haven't talked about Hollywood Brown enough this season, and I think it's because we never really think about Hollywood Brown. We always thought he should be more than he was, and he's finally kind of doing what we expected him to do, and nobody's really even noticing. You look at Hollywood Brown, double digits in all of his games this season, and 20 points or more in the last 4 games. So I think when you look at what he's also been able to do, he's second in the league with 55 targets. So when he's getting the opportunity, which is every single week, he's going to produce. And now up against, once again, a great matchup in the Seattle Seahawks, who's allowed at least the 8th most points to fantasy receivers. You look at Marquise Brown and the connection he has with Kyler Murray. I think this is a week that he gets to go a little bananas before they bring DeAndre Hopkins back next week. And even still then, again, he's supposed to complement DeAndre Hopkins, if not the other way around. If we remember DeAndre Hopkins last year, he slowed down towards the end, became kind of touchdown dependent. All due respect to the guy, of course, but we don't know what he's going to bring to the table when he gets back, except the fact that he has been a talented receiver in this league. So today alone, Marquise Brown, I mean, I expect him to get above 11 targets again, and I expect him to perform. So fire him up. I think he's also a great DFS play today as well.
Yeah, that's really why I put him in there. I'm just letting you guys know right now, whatever the order is, I'm taking Hollywood Brown unless you take him first. So that's my guy today. I really like what he's been doing, and I think this might be the last week where we get the Hollywood Brown of what he's been producing now. I advise people to start to try to trade him if you can get the value for more than what he's been given or than what he actually is going to be once DeAndre Hopkins come back. I still think he can produce, but this is probably his last week producing at this level. You're talking about somebody that's just eating up targets left and right in that offense. I think this is a nice fit for their offense going forward, but his fantasy production will go down. This will be the one time he's ranked in my top 10 and probably the last time he'll actually crack the top 10 this year as long as DeAndre Hopkins is on the field. But you're double-digit targets in every game this year. Every game in a high-volume passing attack, double-digit targets in every game. He's had 6 more catches every game outside of week 1. Week 1 was a struggle. Obviously, they did against Kansas City, but since then, it's been all systems to go for Hollywood Brown. Sign me up. Sign me up for today. Hollywood Brown having probably 100 in the tutty.
Sounds about right.
That's it right there. This is. I honestly, in my pre DK moves, I did have Hollywood on my team, so now it's just going to be a dogfight to see who gets Hollywood first. But that's that. We've got our DFS draft coming up, so whoever gets the first overall pick probably going Hollywood Brown.
What are you talking about? I'm going Bailey Zappi, first pick overall.
Oh,
that's a winning formula.
Well, surprise. We'll figure out how we're doing the draft order in a little bit, but let's go back to your wide receivers here. Your tier 1 wide receivers. Is there any pass catcher here, Aaron, that you wanted to discuss that maybe is like was hard to rank here in the top 12, or that kind of stands out? You want to go to the wide receivers?
Actually, I do. I want to talk about AJ Brown a little bit in tonight's game because I don't think Trayvon Dix is going to travel, and if that's the case, I think you see a lot of AJ Brown on Anthony Brown, and I think that's where the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to spend most of their time. Trayvon Dix has been excellent this year. Obviously, the passing teams passing against Dallas hasn't been very good because of the pass rush that they're getting, and Trayvon Dix has played fairly well. But I think Trayvon Dix is a good matchup versus AJ Brown. So I think they try to switch. I think they try to use Devonta, who's a little bit more shifty, a little bit more route precise, to try to keep him on the side of a Trayvon Dix to give him that problem. And then Anthony Brown, who's a little bit not as big and physical as Trayvon Dix, but is going to have to cover the big physical receiver. So I think we see a lot more AJ Brown on the Anthony Brown side, and I like that matchup for the Eagles tonight. And,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's always like is it a crapshoot? Not a crapshoot. Is it a coin flip right now between AJ Brown and Devonta Smith? Like in terms of like ranking him week by week, like it's either one or the other, or both have.
No.
Okay.
It's AJ Brown's always ranked higher than Devonta Smith. It's not even close.
Okay. And I mean, outside of week 1 for Devonta Smith, both of them have only had 1 week without double-digit scoring, and that's just been the last 2 weeks that it's flip-flopped. And I think that has to do with some of the matchups they had. I mean, with Arizona, obviously expected it to be a little. It was closer than I thought it would be the way it ended up, which kind of tempered some expectations on one or the other. But I think week in and week out, if you have them, you're lining those guys up. That offense has been clicking for the most part, and despite some of the struggles, Jalen Hurts has been trending upward, in my opinion, for the most part. So,
yeah, AJ Brown, a solid play against the Dallas Cowboys today. He ranks 8th at your wide receiver position. Let's go to your wide receiver 2s here. Mike Williams, Jalen Waddle, Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, Chris Godwin, and Michael Pittman Jr. at 18. Which receiver here, Aaron, for you brings you the most question marks, that you're just very uncertain of where they're going to end up fall? Like, obviously you have them where they are on your rankings, that you don't have to give me that, but like, which do you feel the least confident in at their position?
Jacoby Myers, just because it's Jacoby Myers. 21's
not because
high.
It's Bailey Zappi.
No, it's just the New England Patriots offense, and the New England Patriots offense is a run first, run heavy, play action style offense, and I'm not really sure if they're going to throw the ball enough, or if it's going to be Jacoby Myers that's getting all the targets. So you worry about him. I do think he's the safest play out of that wide receiver room, but you still have to worry about whether he's going to be the guy or not. And again, it is Bailey Zappi. It is the New England Patriots offense. But no Nelson Aguilar. Kendrick Bourne's been a no-show. It's been Devontae Parker at times, but it's been kind of up and down. And it's been really Jacoby Myers as kind of the steady hand there. So I think he's the guy. He's been able to do it when they give him the targets, and I think that continues today. Obviously, he's not a huge touchdown guy, so a lot of it comes from PPR, just getting those receptions, 8 catches, 96 yards, or whatever it is. And then if he happens to get in the end zone, you get a big day out of him. So I think it's Jacoby Myers, but that was probably the one I had the most question marks about putting him in my top 24 because, again, at a deep position like wide receiver, there's so many guys that can end up there. They're really hard to rank. So you're really looking for almost, I don't say quote sure things, but that's what you're looking for is high floor guys. And I think that he has the highest floor out of some of those guys that could have maybe taken that spot.
Yeah, it's Jacoby Myers, but really it's also Bailey Zappi there. The concern is there, but he's been the guy. Like that's the thing. He has been the guy. We talked about it on, I think it was Tuesday's show, maybe, or Monday's show. We talked about how Mac Jones has never really made anyone like incredibly fantasy relevant in his career in terms of a pass catcher, and Bailey Zappi might be helping Jacoby Myers get to that status here. There's one name I wanted to talk about here and just give a little bit of credit to it's Amari Cooper. You actually have him at the exact position he has been on the season, and that's wide receiver 15, and that is accurate. I did look that up. He has been wide receiver 15, and I feel like he doesn't get talked about a lot. And he never really does. Every season, Amari Cooper just kind of flies under the radar, but he's always consistently there. He's like he's a better Brandon Cooks. Like, he's just solid. He's consistent no matter what quarterback he's going to have. He's had Jacoby Brissett this year, and he's been the wide receiver 15. Yeah, it's Jacoby Brissett throwing to him. Like, he's going to get Deshaun Watson later on. Like, I really like Amari Cooper now against the Patriots, and then rest of season, I like Amari Cooper. You have him at 15 where he's been all season long, or that's where he ranks season long.
He is Brandon Cooks. I don't know that he's better at Brandon Cooks. I think he is Brandon Cooks. You look over the history of his career, he may have received a little bit of criticism or not being seen as one of the better receivers at certain times, but he's always been a wide receiver too. He's been a wide receiver one time. That was in Dallas in 2019. The rest of the time he's been a wide receiver two on a per game basis. Like, it's what he is. Amari Cooper is what he is. He's one of the best route runners in football. He's always going to produce, and he's been that way. He's had 1,000 yards in every single season since 2020. I can't even talk. Since 2015, outside of 2 seasons, he's had 1,000 yards. One of them, obviously, he missed some time, and it was the last year in Oakland. He got traded. Like, it was a whole lot going on. So he's been a wide receiver two. It's what he is. He and Brandon Cooks are like surefire wide receiver twos. That's what you line him up to be.
Oh, I thought AJ, you were going to say something about that. No, aside from two,
he did it on the ground.
aside from 2 weeks of the season, Amari Cooper has been over 100 yards with touchdowns, and he's just been great. He ranks there though at 15 for you. Let's go into the quarterback position here. Your top 12 quarterbacks, headlined by, of course, it's Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen, 1, 2, and 3. Kyler Murray follows, Jalen Hurts, and 1. Tom Brady at 6. Again, he comes creeping up right around that top 5. AJ, you think it's too low, though?
It's too low. It's too low. 6 is disrespectful to the GOAT. Raise him up. I understand what you got going on with the top 3 and the matchups they're in. He shouldn't be any lower than 4 then, even with Kyler Murray's matchup. I like what the Bucs have going on here this week. You look at Tom Brady the last 3 weeks, 52 attempts, 42 attempts. You got Chris Godwin back healthy. You got Mike Evans doing his thing. And then you have a Pittsburgh team that's just reeling. No TJ Watt still. They are down Mika Fitzpatrick and their top 3 cornerbacks. I know, again, every week I have one where we're just picking hairs, and we're talking 6-4. But looking at the spot they're in, the matchup they're in, I just think it's a very juicy opportunity, and I think Tom Brady can go some bananas. So too low on the GOAT.
Aaron, I'm gonna step in here. I think you have Tom Brady too high. I think you have Tom Brady. I don't think Tom Brady finishes in the top, near the top 5. I think he's more around the 8. And again, like what AJ said, it's splitting hairs. I'm not sure the game script for today, it features a whole lot of Tom Brady just dunking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's just kind of my feel. Like, it's kind of my feeling, similar to what happened like last week against Atlanta. He wasn't like that. He had 52 passes, but like 19 fantasy points. Like, I don't know. Something tells me that this is not a Tom Brady, a great fantasy day for Tom Brady. Like, to the point where he has to be in the top 5.
And you're both wrong. You're both wrong. He's number 6. This is what he is. You're both wrong. And first of all, AJ.
All right, baby bear.
First of all, AJ, he hasn't cracked the top 5 outside of 1 week this year. So saying he's a top 5 quarterback doesn't matter who he plays. Doesn't matter with all those pass attempts. Many times Tom Brady throws the ball. He hasn't cracked the top 5 but one time this year, and that was the week before last.
He's QB 13 this year.
Let me finish.
I'm just
Vinny.
Vinny,
you talked about his 19 points that he threw last week and didn't look that great against Atlanta. He didn't, and he finished his quarterback 7. So it's in between there. It's what he is. He's a 20-point scorer because he's Tom Brady and he has high volume, and he's probably going to throw some touchdowns. And to the Pittsburgh game script thing, did you not watch what Josh Allen did to the Pittsburgh Steelers through the air? And like they're not a good defense. Minkah Fitzpatrick banged up, not playing, or maybe I don't know. I don't think he's playing.
No, not playing. Minkah,
yeah,
three
they don't have
quarterbacks
a
after
secondary. So to AJ's point, he absolutely the game script could torch the Pittsburgh Steelers because it's not like Tampa Bay has been able to run the ball really well. Their offensive line at times has been not very good up the middle, so they've had to rely on Tom Brady throwing the football. Leonard Fournette out of the backfield. I think that continues. I think Tom Brady has a really, really good day here. If he does, put it this way, if I'm leaning one way, I think he cracks the top 5 before he falls out of the top 6 to 7, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. Thank you for agreeing with me. That's what you should have done.
I did not agree with you because I don't think he cracks the top 5.
Everybody
to crack the top 5, you got to beat Lamar, Mahomes. You got to beat Lamar, Mahomes, Josh Allen. That's automatically 3, and then you get Kyler versus the Seahawks. Okay. Let's do that. A little board bet. Kyler Murray.
I was just about to say this.
Kyler Murray against the Seahawks or Tom Brady against the Steelers?
Kyler Murray.
I mean, Tom Brady.
Kyler Murray easily.
So hold on.
Clearly, I made this argument. I couldn't go any other direction.
Let's make this. Let's make this interesting, though. Let's make this interesting. So AJ has him in the top 5. You have him at 6. I'll have him at outside the top 6. So basically, if
you can't hold that thought. Hold that thought. I'm going to mute myself really quick. You go ahead and say what.
Okay, so we have him right now. It's at 6. AJ, you think he's top 5? I think he doesn't finish. I think he finishes.
All right, I'm back.
I'm going to say 9. He finishes 9.
Rude.
He finishes 9th in quarterbacks this week. So
rude.
On Thursday's show, when we do our DFS plays of the week for our Thursday night football game, whoever wins this bet gets to choose a player on each person's DFS team. I get to like if I were to win, I get to pick a player on your DFS teams, and vice versa. If you guys win,
how is the winner determined if he's number 7?
Then no one wins, and we just don't have that. And then that's
Wow.
I think he doesn't finish top 6. Aaron, you think he finishes top 6. So, and then AJ, you think he finishes top 5. We can do it like that if you want.
That's Vinny. You make no sense.
I'm just trying to figure out a way to make this interesting.
We can table it. We'll put.
When I ranked my guy as number 6. That's what I think Tom Brady his ranking is going to be. But if Tom Brady goes out and he's number 7 today, you could say I was wrong, but I'm going to tell you I was right. Like that's
okay.
That's
so
how this
okay.
works
So how about
within
ranking. 2 spots? Within 2 spots, I say 9. If he finishes 8 or 9, I win. If he finishes 6 or 7, Aaron, you win. And if he finishes 5 or better, AJ wins.
All right, sure. That sounds good.
Fantastic.
We go.
I had to make it interesting because it then doesn't get interesting when we talk tight ends. It's Travis Kelce. It's Mark Andrews. Actually, maybe it does get interesting because then it's Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, Tyler Higbee, Kyle Pitts is at 6, and George Kittle's at 7. This is a very interesting tight end group here. Aaron, what went into what is a note from your rankings here?
Yeah, people need to start fading George Kittle, and if he has any value in trade markets right now, trade him. and I'm dead serious about this. If you
Mhm.
can still get his first, week 1 value for George Kittle, because there's some truthers or there's some believers that think he's going to have better days, I would trade him now. Especially if you can get a back or you can get a receiver that can help your team. Go get one of these other streaming tight ends and use them. George Kittle is not going to have a big year. They're using him more as a blocker. They are running the football a lot more. I mean, not more than they're used to, but they just run the football a lot. I think it's going to be tough for him to get to the value of that top 3 tight end that we're used to seeing. And I'm gonna say it, and this is maybe not the time because it's not this is a fantasy show, but the disrespect that people in the past have had talking about who's a better tight end between George Kittle and Travis Kelce, stop it. It ain't close. It never was. George Kittle's had great years. He is not Travis Kelce. Never has been, never will be. I don't give a damn if Travis Kelce can block or not. When Travis Kelce can do what he does on the outside, it's a much better tight end. George Kittle's value to me is down. I think you try to trade him.
If only you weren't in a car when you said that. That would be that'll be a beautiful clip, but it's just going to look funny on social media when we see this man in a car talking about George Kittle being better, being done not close to Travis Kelce.
Do you realize the shit that's put on social media?
Right. That's fair. That is fair. It is 2022, and then that's fair.
The car is better than some of these people's dirty ass bedrooms that I be seeing.
But that's on OnlyFans.
AJ, I'd assume you have a sleeper of the week here, so we're gonna get into that. I'm still compiling the injury report. So we're gonna go sleeper of the week here first, and then what? What's your problem here?
So does that mean I'm doing the streaming defense?
Do you want to do a streaming defense?
Well, I'm asking who's doing it. You didn't plan any of this.
I wasn't gonna.
See, I just figured that he would have the sleeper.
We don't have Aaron, you're doing the sleeper. AJ does the streamer. Let's get into the streamer. Let's ride the gondola first, and then
yeah.
Oh, I don't have the gondola here. I deleted everything.
Oh,
I deleted
everything.
My
gosh.
What a mess.
Oh shit.
What a mess. This is getting off the rails.
Hey,
because I do have the sleeper one. I just don't have I thought I added the streaming
cool.
defense, but it did not work.
I understand.
All right.
I know that's.
Let's ride the gondola, AJ.
Oh shit! It's streaming defense time, baby. Get your flippy floppies on.
Smooth.
All right, streaming defense time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a man of my word. I tell you how it is. Last week, I didn't do you right, and I'm sad. I apologize for you. My honorable mention last week of the Seattle Seahawks at that point in time by our sleeper rating, they did not have less than 8 fantasy points a game, and last week they were in the negative. I'm sorry. Honorable mention, so it's okay. Except that I gave you the Tennessee Titans as my actual defense against the lowly Washington Commanders, and we were just below the threshold at 6 points. We agreed on 7, so technically I failed you. But this week, I'm making up for it because not only am I giving you an honorable mention that I think you can use today, this honorable mention, I think you don't need to pick up another defense for the next 3 weeks. My honorable mention today are the New England Patriots, rostered in 22% of ESPN leagues, 36% of sleeper leagues. Normally, I don't give you analysis on my honorable mention, but since Vinny needs some time, it's perfect. Look at their next 3 weeks as well. Today, they play the Cleveland Browns. Then they play the Chicago Bears. Then they play the New York Jets. And then they play the Indianapolis Colts, all offenses that the defense can be had. Could have a good day. Last week, we watched the Patriots put up 18 defensive points in fantasy. So as your honorable mention, and a good defense for today, I would grab the Patriots if you can. But my defense that I'm giving you today, Vinny, you will like this one. The actual defense I choose is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think it's a good day for them. 40% in sleeper leagues. ESPN is already on top of it. Sorry, Rossford is 70% of leagues, so go look now if you have to. Playing the Indianapolis Colts today, I just talked about their offense and turnover worthy. Today they come in with no Jonathan Taylor again, no Nyheim Hines. The Jacksonville Jaguars have a turnover in 4 or 5 games and a sack in every single game. And you look at what they did at Indianapolis in week 2, they put up 18 points, 3 interceptions, 5 sacks. I'm not saying it's going to be exactly that again, but we do know that Matt Ryan is attempting to shatter the fumble record for quarterbacks. So I'm expecting some turnovers in this game and an offense that just hasn't been able to find their footing. If you can find the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think today's a good day to have them. And don't run to drop them because they actually have some good matchups coming up as well. So there you go. Hopefully I made up for my last week's stinkers. Streaming defenses. Oh, shit.
There you go. I like your Patriots one. I was the one who in our sleeper league, I did grab the Patriots defense just for this week. I'm gonna ride with whatever they do this week against the Browns, and then their following weeks, hopefully, get some good action from the New England Patriots defense in the coming weeks. Let's do our sleeper of the week with Aaron, and let's see what he's got.
And now for your sleeper of the week.
I don't have a thing for the sleeper. Oh shit, I don't get one of them. So, all right, look, if AJ can give you two, I'm going to give you two also. My first one here is New York Giants receiver Wandell Robinson, who's back in action today, going against the Baltimore Ravens secondary. That hasn't been very good. There's just lack of targets. They're going to try to find ways to get him involved. They really do like him there. I think Brian Dable uses him. I think he can get to the double-digit threshold today. Daniel Jones has played better. That's kind of my honorable mention, I guess you could say. Remember, our threshold here is double-digit points. But my real sleeper is Traquan Smith of the New Orleans Saints. Somebody's got to catch the ball. Like, it's really what it boils down to. Somebody's got to catch the ball. Traquan Smith is a guy. It could be Marquez Callaway, but I like Traquan Smith. I think he has more big play potential here. He likes those intermediate routes that Chris Olave was running, that Michael Thomas runs it sometimes. And you have Andy Dalton in the game. He did have a game already this year where he went 4 for 105. That was against Carolina back in week 3. It's a Cincinnati defense that's good. Their secondary has been playing okay, but I do think the Saints are going to have to throw the football at some point to score on this defense. I think Traquan Smith, by sheer volume alone, can get you double digits today. Outside of Alvin Kamara, I don't know that there's another weapon on that offense in the passing game outside of Taysom Hill that can really do some damage. So Traquan Smith, Wandell Robinson, sleepers of the week.
There you go. There you have it. That's good. I with the wide receiver position for the New Orleans Saints, it's like it's literally a shit show. Like it's a mess.
It's last year.
Yeah, you're right. It is last year. Well, let's take a look at that injury report here. You mentioned the guys that aren't in. Let's dive into the injury report.
And I can't get up. That's my shit.
Yeah, let's start off with some injury reports here. I'm trying to get to the actives and inactives. My computer is absolutely crashing right now on everything. Maybe I should probably.
Would you like me to get you some? I can get you some.
I have the actives and inactives. I just don't have it listed. Like it's not like nothing.
I can still say some.
Yeah, you can say something. Go ahead.
If it's not working. All right. Key note here: T. Higgins in the lineup, healthy, active. Zay Jones for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He had some question marks coming into the game. He's active. He will be on the field for the Jaguars. Strangely enough, Jameis Winston is healthy, but not starting. So I don't really think he's healthy, but they did at least activate him. We mentioned Wandell Robinson. Justice Hill out for the Ravens. I think that's big because people that own Kenyon Drake, I don't know if you watched the end of that game last week. The Baltimore Ravens were giving the ball to Kenyon Drake a little bit. J.K. Dobbins is obviously the guy, but something just might keep your eye on that. Maybe you have a deep league like ours, and Kenyon Drake has to be a play. I think I picked him up in our league, didn't I?
I was about to say, I'm sure if he's available in our league, Bailey is going to go pick him up just at the second of it. So
yeah. So I mean, again, who knows? I would just say just keep an eye on him. We already talked about some of the other players, Jacoby Myers in, Raheem Mostert in, CeeDee Lamb. He's kind of always supposed to be in. He's in. There were some issues with Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee. They're both in. Kyle Pitts back on the field after missing last week with that hamstring injury. So nice for the Falcons to get that weapon against a tough 49ers defense. Inactives today, Marvin Jones for the Jaguars out. Start the other Jones. Start Zay. We talked about Ramondre Stevenson before. Damien Harris, we knew it was going to be a long shot to play. He didn't. He's not playing. Start Ramondre Stevenson. Damien Harris out. Jonathan Taylor, we mentioned, was out. Look, you can do two things here. You could not trust Deion Jackson or Phillip Lindsay, or you can start them both, and I would be okay with it. Like, not both on the same team, but you could start either one, and I might be okay with it. Jacksonville, we talked about this, Vinny. They've had some big games against the run. They've had some good games against the run, but I think the Colts have to run the football. Sheer opportunity alone, you might be able to get one of them to fall into the end zone today, even though they didn't score against Jacksonville last time. I like both of those play in deeper leagues. And then Rashad Bateman out again for Baltimore. Tough there. Devin Duvernay might be another sneaky play. He seems to be the number one when Rashad Bateman's not there.
Yeah, that's this. It's been Devin Duvernay's season this year. He's been having some spotty, some big games, some little games, some iffy games. But Rashad Bateman has been breaking my heart this year. But that's your inactives and actives for the season. That's our sleepers and streamers. It's our rankings. It's now time to get into our DFS showdown here. And gentlemen, I wanted to see you guys' thoughts and take this into a vote. Dylan won last week. Dylan sent his draft order in the messages. Because he is not here, do we honor the draft order he sent, or do we do it a different way?
No, he should. I mean, in my opinion, he should get to pick the order. I mean, whether he's here or not.
AJ?
I'm fine with it. I just saw clown shoes. I didn't.
It has been decided then. Dylan, you won last week. You will decide the draft order. AJ, Aaron, and then myself is the draft order for today's DFS showdown. AJ, who are you going first?
Okay. Let's see here. I am going to start with a running back, and it'll be a low-end running back, or at least on the price value. I'm going to go with Breece Hall. Give me some of that Breece in Green Bay.
Aaron?
I am taking Ramondre Stevenson against
Neither
Cleveland.
of you went Hollywood Brown. We joked around about this. The first pick was going to be Hollywood Brown, and then no one ended up taking Hollywood Brown. All right. Well, if that's going to be the case, then I will take Travis Kelce
and Hollywood Brown.
And I will take Hollywood Brown. I'll take Hollywood Brown. If he's just gonna be here, I'm just gonna take him. All right, I can take Hollywood Brown.
I'm taking Kyler Murray.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and grab Saquon. It's just all they have, and even against the Ravens, I think that's going to work out for me. And then I will go ahead and grab AJ Brown. I think that's going to be a good pick. I like AJ Brown.
I am taking Eno Benjamin.
Oh man, that's a good pick. He's so low too, like in cost. Like he is a steal for cost in this one. Give me the wide receiver we just talked about. Call me crazy. I will take Zay Jones here. And giving my quarterback, I will go with I'll go with Aaron Rodgers.
Wow. Notification. Jameis may not be the starter anymore if Andy Dalton plays well.
Wow. That is a wow. Wow.
I will take Zach Ertz as my tight end.
It's a good one. That's a good one. All right. I have to save some moolah for later. I'm going to take Isaiah McKenzie as my second wide receiver. And give me Tom Brady as my quarterback. Let's do it.
I am taking Traquan Smith as my receiver or flex or whatever you want to call it.
All right. I will I'm going to go with give me Allen Lazard against the Jets. And give me Ken Walker.
How did I know that was
I haven't taken Ken Walker all season long. I'm not sure how you would have known that.
Come on, man. We all knew you were taking.
I'm not sure how you would have known that. I haven't taken Ken Walker all season long. I'm not sure how you would have known that.
Stop.
I knew it.
We all knew it.
I knew everything.
I'm taking the Carolina Panthers defense.
Damn it. You got to be kidding me. My next pick. That was my next pick. And now it's not my next pick. All right. Well, then. Give me Romeo Doubs versus the Jets. And give me David Njoku as my tight end.
I will take Devin Duvernay as a receiver.
I will go. AJ, you have your defense?
Nope.
Okay. I will go with the Jacksonville Jaguars defense.
Trash hole.
And I will stay in the same game. And this always makes me feel bad because I have so many people in the same game of a shit show matchup. But I will take Deion Jackson.
Okay.
I am taking Tyreek Hill against Minnesota.
All right. All right. Last two picks for me, I think. My flex, Jeff Wilson Jr. And somebody told me that I had a good shot on the defense with the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm going to try it out. You guys took the only other two I really would have liked.
My last pick is Justin Jefferson in the same game as Tyreek Hill.
You had all that money? Oh, shit. I am honored. How did that happen?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. I just wasn't looking. It's cool.
You are the worst person to ever play DFS with. The worst.
Probably
worst.
All right.
I will do something I don't like to do, and I don't feel great about this. I will take George Kittle as my flex.
If there was ever a week.
Yeah, this is. I don't like it. I have a very hard time deciding with him, but I went George Kittle. He's the.
Where's your flex?
I trust him the most out of. Oh no! Can I change that real quick? Sorry.
Oh my God!
You are the absolute worst.
Oh, you're the worst.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm going to change it just because I don't like doing double tight ends. I'm going to change to Daryl Henderson. And that's my team. I'm done. Sorry. My apologies, gentlemen.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Let's go to the chat before we say our team. I like the question.
Because I wanted to know.
We starting Higgins today. Usage worries me. Playing Lazard and DJ Moore over him right now. I'll be honest. I love the DJ Moore play today over T. Higgins, and I do have concerns about T. Higgins today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm also worried about Lazard, though. I don't know if it's Lazard or Dobbs, but the Jets have played really well. Sauce Gardner has been a really good DB, but I don't think he's following at this point. Right. I worry about Higgins' ankle. He's the kind of guy. He's gone out in some games and tried like muscling through it or playing through it, and then you find him on the sideline and not coming back in the game. I think you go safe here. I think you play unless you need a big day from somebody. I think you play it safe, and I think you go DJ Moore and Allen Lazard here. My opinion.
So seeing that last week was that exact thing you talked about where he tried to muscle through it. They put him on the sidelines. He goose-egged you. Do you think that he's actually better? It seems like they are starting him active and healthy with confidence this week, whereas last week they tried to muscle him through it.
I mean, he still went up until game time before they made the decision because he wasn't sure on Friday, and yet now we're here Sunday, and it's like, oh, T. Higgins is active. Okay. If it's the ankle injury, I just think that's something that lingers, and I know he wants to be out there. I just worry because it's one step, one plant.
Yeah.
Ankle rolls, and you're back on the sideline again. I tend, again, you guys know me, I'm a little bit more safe when it comes to stuff like this. I tend to not take those big risks because you can get a T. Higgins day out of Allen Lazard or DJ Moore. Yes, maybe they haven't been as consistent, but you can get those days and they're healthy. So I would lean toward the healthy guys that I know are healthy, unless, again, if you need a huge day and you're like, man, that's the only way I think I'm going to win, then maybe you go T. Higgins because he's probably the best out of those three to give you that.
Yeah. In a way, Higgins cost me. I cost me a win last week by playing Higgins when he was injured. I needed 3 points. I could have got that from literally anybody on my bench, but I played the injured guy. Same thing happened with me a couple weeks ago with Gabe Davis. If these guys are coming in injured and you have relatively similar relatively close, productive type players, play those guys. It's worth it. It's worth it to not take the risk.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Daniel.
Yep. All right. That does it for our DFS plays. Let's recap our teams. Aaron, what's your team looking like?
My team is Kyler Murray at quarterback. Eno at running back. Ramondre Stevenson also at running back. My wide receivers are Devin Duvernay, Tyreek Hill, and Justin Jefferson. I have Zach Ertz at tight end. I have Traquan Smith as my flex, and I went with Carolina defense against the Rams.
AJ?
I'm not going to compliment your lineup, but I guess that says enough, right? I got Tom Brady as my quarterback. He will finish top 5 today. Saquon Barkley and Breece Hall as my running back, going with the New York state of mind up there. Romeo Doubs as my wide receivers with A.J. Brown and Isaiah McKenzie. David Njoku, consistent tight end. Jeff Wilson as my flex. Let's give him another 18-touch day. And the Bill Belichick Patriot defense against the Cleveland run-it-all-day Browns.
There you go. My team looks like Aaron Rodgers, Deion Jackson, Ken Walker at Hollywood. Yeah, I try to change it up here. I try to go with the roller coaster here. Go up and then down and then up and then down. That's how my team goes here. So I have Aaron Rodgers up, and then we go Deion Jackson, Ken Walker down, Hollywood Brown up, Zay Jones,
You're getting targets.
Alan Lazard, Travis Kelce, Daryl Henderson, and then the Jaguars defense. That's where it ends right there. That's how the show ends. We'll be back again live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time, right here on YouTube, breaking down all the great Week 6 action. You do not want to miss a single second of it. Until then, though, for my best friend Aaron Mukes and for your boy AJ Johnson, I am me. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace out.
Holla.